Hi everyone, Syed Imran Bukhari with the Global Mind. The A-level result which got out this week is quite shocking and frustrating for many students, their parents and teachers as well. This shock and frustration, particularly in regions like Pakistan and South Asia, stem primarily from widespread exam paper leaks, chaotic last-minute policy U-turns by the examination boards like Cambridge, and unpredictably high grading thresholds. Multiple key papers, including A's and A-level mathematics and computer science components, were leaked or circulated prematurely online before exams began. This forced sudden cancellations, retakes, and intense psychological stress for students throughout the session. Examination boards initially told schools they would discard certain leaked paper marks, such as specific math statistic component, and rely on alternative SS marks. Just days before results were released, boards reversed this decision and graded students on their actual scripts instead. This sudden decision left candidates confused and feeling like their final grades were subjected to an erratic process. Similarly, this exam also shifted the grade boundaries. After the post COVID generous marking years, Cambridge and other exam boards have tightened up the marking in 2025 and 2026. After 2020 and 2023, there was a concerted effort to bring marks back down. Ofqual told exam boards make 2026 results comparable to 2019. They had to do something. Grading in England returned to pre-pandemic levels in 2023, prompting a big fall in top grades, while Wales and Northern Ireland followed suit in 2024. For rest of the world, exam boards started stepping down grades slowly and phase-wise. This normalization finally arrived this year. Students are in shock this week. As result has been out, it shows a full reset to pre-2019 standards. A student who got 70% and an A in 2022 now gets 70% standing B in 2026. Disappointment is huge as students compare themselves to older exam takers who got A stars in 2021 and 2022 with far less percentage. Same effort, lower grades. Similarly, students who were getting A and B in their school marks based on 2022 and 2023 papers suddenly got B and C. Teachers called it the boundaries dropped. Same paper but with fewer A's. This exam also changed the paper schemes. Boards preferred assessment objectives, unseen sources, and skills over content. There were less past paper repetition, questions were concept based, not directed recall. Cambridge pushed hard on their assessment objectives. Students were used to ready made notes plus past paper training. Papers tested their skills this time, not content knowledge. So, what were the student expectations when sitting in May June 2026 exams? 1. Predictable questions from the past papers. 2. In STEM, standard textbook questions to be repeated. 3. Use Formula X, plug in numbers and get easy marks. 4. Focus more on method mark for working rather than concepts. But what they got actually? Assessment objectives plus source-based paper hit the students hard. Students didn't do well, especially in programs like GP, history, psychology, sociology, English literature, and economics. Papers weren't from past papers anymore. The focus was more on questions assessing to evaluate, to what extent, assess, etc. Similarly, source analysis and data response papers were way harder than previous years. They tested skill this time, such as to evaluate unseen source, etc. Here, students without learning got caught. Students say, we revised the whole material and the paper was still new. In STEM subjects, the situation was more alarming. The students reported that in math papers, Questions demand more proof, plus modeling questions, less routine differentiation. Papers required application, not calculation. In physics, questions were based on data analysis plus error evaluation instead of just calculations. In chemistry, practical based questions without doing the practical. In biology, they require deep application of knowledge to unfamiliar scenarios they would never expect it. Computer science, pseudocode for new problems, not past paper patterns. Students who crammed past papers from 2018 till 2023 got stuck. Math, physics, chemistry papers tested problem solving in new contexts, not standard calculations. Students who could do textbook questions but not apply them lost marks. Result: STEM top grades dropped compared to 2025. Cambridge plus AQA plus Edexcel all pushed their new science learning outcomes. For Pakistan or international centers, less access to labs meant harder to prepare for practical application questions. For UK, teachers say they didn't have time to retrain for the style. Students say they were not prepared for assessment objectives, they felt they revised wrong things. Since maths is taken by everyone doing engineering, computer science, economics, etc., the entries went up 2.5%, but the paper got more conceptual. So, more students plus harder grade boundaries leading to more B's and C's. Computer science entries jump up by 11.7%, especially among girls. Creating more competition pushed grade boundaries higher. Most STEM teachers practice students with extensive 2015 till 2023 past papers. 2026 was the first year where 40% plus of marks came from skills that were not in those papers. Another disappointment: boards undertook AI plus cheating crackdown. 2026 was the first year exam when boards ran mass AI detection on all courseworks. Many centers had grades moderated down because of the suspected AI use or overhelped coursework. Some schools had whole departments downgraded after moderation. Extended project qualification, coursework, practical, art portfolios all got flagged. Students who used ChatGPT to edit essays saw big drops. Teachers were surprised because they hadn't warned students enough. They were also shocked because the moderation feedback came late. But shock of the shocks is brutal boundaries. Students complain about brutal A-level grade boundaries. High-performing cohorts drive up new mark thresholds, making minor mistakes costly. Post-pandemic standardization adjustments by the boards means even small drops in exam performance or unexpectedly tough papers result in narrow misses for top grades. Missing an A star or an A by just one or two raw marks can disrupt university placements and UK's choices. A's grades dropped overall, but university entry requirements didn't. Many students missed their firm choice by one grade. In Pakistan, 2026 exam was extra challenging. Year 2026 saw full return to UK pre-2019 grade boundaries. Result: student with 68% who would not got A in 2022 got B in 2026. Centers with 70% A stars to A rate in 2023 dropped to 45% in 2026. Teachers think my student did the same as last year's A student, but still low grade. Cambridge says standards reset. Students face unfamiliar formats. Exam boards shifted towards skills rather than contents that stop students from relying purely on memorized past paper pattern. Absence of scaffolding. Assessments cut back on helpful show that style guiding questions, forcing students to independently derive complex intermediate steps, making the exam challenging. Another setback, plagiarism. Cambridge flagged piles of GP, individual reports, EPQs, and science practical write ups because they were AI written. For their bad, ChatGPT, Gemini templates are easy to detect now. Center help was noted. Boards quickly deducted many of the coursework that looked much professional and having identical structures. Those got moderated down as well. Many cases was reported in that copying from global student forum were also verified. Many top schools in big cities had students' work downgraded from A to C or D after moderation. Students and teachers didn't see it coming. Multiple key papers were leaked or circulated prematurely online before exams began. This forced sudden cancellations, retakes, and intense psychological stress for students throughout the session. Students faced huge anxiety and mental stress regarding whether papers would be voided or if students had to sit retakes. The bottom line, students expected 2023 style marking, teachers expected 2023 style papers. Cambridge gave 2019 style marking with 2026 style questions. That's all for now. Thank you.